Oh, got us grooving in the studio here on 1FM 91.3, the sounds of Santana featuring Miguel and Maria. 8:30 on a Thursday morning. How you doing? We are welcoming a very special guest to the studio today. I'm so excited.
We have got Christian Ho in the house.
Hello. Hello, Christian.
He is the first Singaporean driver who will be racing in F3, finished second in his F4 championship season. And I believe you've just got back to Singapore last night, was it?
Yep, it was last night. I got back at like 5 p.m. and I think I got around 2 hours of sleep, I'd say.
Oh, this is perfect preparation then for being doing your first interview after you arrive back in Singapore.
Wow, thanks so much for making time for us. Okay, so you are the first Singaporean driver who will race in F3. Can I just ask you, are you able to drive cars here in Singapore just yet? Do you have your Singapore driver's license actually?
Actually, I can't. I'm a little bit worried about when I take my driver's license. I'm worried about the parking test actually, 'cause I don't think I can park properly.
So you can be really fast on the track, but parallel parking, I'm not so sure about that.
No, yeah, for sure, no.
That's hilarious.
I love the honesty coming from this young man. Thanks so much for being open with us, Christian. All right, some questions for you regarding, your history, your background. How did you get into all of this?
Yeah, I would like to know how do you think it impacts motorsport in Singapore, you securing this seat in F3? Because it's been talked about a lot in the press the last few days.
Yeah, I think it's quite a big thing. I mean, I think I'm the first Singaporean driver to go into F3, and there have not been many Asians, I say, doing F3. The last one was probably Sinoda and L1. So I'm really honored to have a seat for next year, and I am determined to do my best and try to win next year as well.
I like the confidence.
Yeah. So FIA F3 is a big leap from the Euro Cup 3 and Formula 4. How are you planning to prepare for the challenges ahead in this very competitive field?
I mean, I'd say I'll probably prepare the same as I would for any other championship, because my goal is always to win every championship that I'm in. And I think it's really important that I put in the work in terms of simulator and really managing my time between school and the simulator work that I do in the workshop. So, yeah, I'll try my best, and I'll always do the same thing, I think.
Because we were just talking about this on air. You are actually a full-time student.
Yeah.
Tell us about that. Where are you going to school?
Currently, I'm boarding in the UK in Cambridge, and I'm taking my A-levels this year. Yeah, and I'm doing...
Your A-levels are this year or next year?
No, next year.
Okay.
I'm doing...
Wow.
In 2 years, and it's pretty tough because, I'm taking further math as well.
Oh.
Yeah, I'd say it was my first week last week, and I think it was pretty tough. I'd say I have to study quite a lot, so yeah.
By the way, he has to say that because his dad's also in the studio with us right now, watching it.
Which one's more enjoyable?
But okay, so you study in Cambridge, and you're in boarding school there, but I understand your training is in Spain.
Yep. I do gym training quite often when I'm in the UK.
Sorry, you have to go to Spain for simulator training?
Yeah, during the race weekend for simulator and
to
do some gym training as well, some assessments. So, it's quite tough going around, I'd say.
Right.
And it's quite taxing on the mind because the week that we have the race, Tuesday and Wednesday, we are doing simulator and preparing for the race.
Right.
And on Thursday, we go to the track, do track walks, and analyze more data. So, the whole weekend is basically dedicated to just racing.
How many races are there in this Euro Cup?
I think there are 8 rounds this year.
Okay. So that's 8 weeks off school. I'm just trying to put this together.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
That's not easy to balance.
Yeah.
It sounds like the's a lot on your plate. Does the F-math come into action, with all the analyzing of data and all that? I just want to know.
No, definitely not. I'd say no. Completely different.
Alrighty, we are chatting with Christian Ho, Singapore's first F3 driver. Oh my gosh, very exciting stuff. We are live on Facebook as well, so do join us at facebook.com/1FM913. We will be back with more of Christian in just a bit. Hang tight.
1FM.
Hey, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Facebook.
Hello.
This is the very young Christian Ho. He's making me wonder what I was doing when I was 17. This guy is balancing so much. You got so much on your plate, doing Singapore proud. And I was like, 17?
Yeah.
Partying? Is that in your vocabulary? I know Dad's here, but is there time for you to just go and chill out as well,
actually,
like a regular kid?
A lot of people ask me that question, to be honest. And as I always say, I think I really want to try and make it first before I do any kind of crazy stuff. Right now I'm fully focused on trying to make my goal because I know a lot of people have put a lot of stuff into me, and I think I've invested a lot into myself as well. and I really want to make sure that I secure my future before anything. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, talking of which, you moved to Europe at the age of just 11.
Yep.
What prompted that move?
I'd say it's probably the competition, the level of competition in Europe. I mean, everybody that I've raced with in Europe currently are racing in either Formula 1 or Formula 2 or Formula 3. So
Cool.
I'd say moving to Europe was a choice to race with the best and try to improve myself as well.
But that would mean already at the age of 11, your dad and yourself, you'd already probably discussed it, and you guys saw something in what you were doing at
Yep.
that age
Yep.
to feel, I need to move to Europe. I mean, what prompted this? Like, what was that pathway up to the age of 11 before you made that decision?
I mean, I think it came to a point in Asia where I was winning races in Asia, but then there was one point where a European driver came into Asia and raced against me, and I really saw the level that he was at. And so when I first went to Europe and saw all of these guys driving around, I think it really like kind of snapped, and I realized that I wasn't the fastest anymore, you know, and I really had to step up my game. Yeah.
Right.
How did you get started in racing?
Actually, I was on a family trip in Phuket, and we went for a rental car, not a race, like a small little
Like a
competition.
go-kart?
Yeah, exactly.
Was it a go-kart thing?
Yeah, between the family.
You know, I was just thinking about that. I'm like, if I'm really good at go-kart, does that mean I got chance to become F3 racer as well?
That's how Lewis Hamilton started. He
No
was
way.
into go-karts as well,
So
right?
that's how it began, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
exactly, yeah.
And then what happened?
Well, I mean, partly I'd say it's also because I wanted to skip a bit of school during the time, but no, not. I mean, I think it was always a passion of mine since I was young. I always dreamed of racing in Singapore and representing Singapore in Formula 1. But yeah, I mean, I think there was just one day where it just snapped, and I think I wanted to become a race car driver. So,
oh, wow,
yeah.
that's cool. I'm sure a lot of boys are listening right now and like, oh my God, I can live the dream.
Do you kind of feel like now that you've got all this attention, like, do you feel like the weight of responsibility, like you know, you might be inspiring other little kids, other little boys and girls out there who might want to get into racing?
To be honest, I think my expectation of myself is always higher than other people. So
Okay.
I think that, to be honest, I think pressure is, I mean, I do feel pressure sometimes, but I feel like the pressure I put on myself is more than other people, yeah. So not really, to be honest.
Okay. Fair enough. That's good. That's good. You're level-headed. Keep yourself in the game.
Yeah. All right, we're going to be crossing back over live on radio. So maybe we'll recap how you got started in this whole, racing career. And it's so exciting that, humble beginnings from a go-kart, you can actually go as far as F3, F2, and then F1. I love
Yep.
that. Yeah. No one ever thinks about that. I just think about like, amusement park, let's have fun, let's go cray. All right, head on over to 1FM 91.3. We continue our chat with Christian Ho.
With In These Arms here, 1FM 91.3. We are talking to Christian Ho, the first Singaporean driver who will be racing in F3, finished second in his F4 championship season. I mean, that is an incredible achievement. Everyone's very, very proud of what you've done so far. But we kind of had a chat on Facebook Live earlier about how you kind of got into racing at a young age, and it was on a family trip.
Yeah, I was on a family trip in Phuket where we had like a small competition within the family to see who was the quickest in a rental car. And I think I was second quickest, not the quickest, but second quickest. And
Who was quickest?
Your dad.
my dad, yeah. So,
Who's standing right here, by the
Your,
way.
your dad a big racing fan before all this?
yeah, I actually started watching Formula 1 with him when I was younger.
Oh.
And so I think the first time that I ever stood in the kart was in Phuket, and the track manager there told my family that I should start karting back in Singapore.
It was a track manager who saw you.
Yeah, exactly.
To say that.
Wow.
Oh.
What was the thing that stood out? Was it your technique or just the drive that you had, or
I'm not sure. I think it was because
You didn't crash into anyone
yeah,
else.
exactly, probably. Yeah, no, but I think it was because it was my first time in a go-kart and I was already quicker than some of the adults. So
right?
yeah, I think that was probably one of the reasons why. But I mean, from there, I think it was not really a straightforward journey, I'd say. But starting in karting, I started karting when I was primary 2, and when I was primary 6, I moved to Europe, where I competed in a lot of FI European Championship competitions, where drivers like Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc won the competitions.
Wow.
And until now, I think I've won the German Championship, and I finished 4th in the Karting World Championship in junior. And
Amazing.
yeah, I mean, quite a lot of stuff.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh my gosh. When you moved to Europe at 11 to pursue racing, did you think this would happen?
To be honest, I think competing for the World Championship, not so much, but I'd say like finishing consistently the top 10, I think was my goal when I first went to Europe. But I think as time went on, when I saw the improvement that I made in driving, I think that's when I realized that I actually had an opportunity, yeah.
Wow, exciting stuff.
Right now, we mentioned earlier you're in the Euro Cup 3 at the moment, right?
Yeah.
There's only, a handful of races left? And you're only 30 points away from the top?
Yeah, I think I'm like 30 points away with two rounds left, so 4 races left, yeah.
So you've got to win all... I'm sure you're doing the permutations here, right?
Yeah.
You got to win and hope that the guy number 1 finishes outside the podium? Is that kind of how it is?
No, I'd say it's just winning everything.
You got to be perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. How's
Yeah.
that feel? I mean, you could be on the brink of winning F3.
Yeah, I mean,
Euro 3, sorry. I mean, that's huge.
yeah, exactly. I've had a really long time to think about it. I think the entire summer I had, so yeah, a lot of thinking went into it.
When's
but
that next race?
It's in 2 weeks actually.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Oh
So
my
Okay.
gosh. The heat is on.
Where's that one?
in Jerez in Spain.
In Jerez,
so, yeah,
okay.
Kind of a home
So-
track for me. So
Right.
Yeah,
You got home
exactly.
advantage because you go into Spain.
But I mean, the guy is Spanish as well, so
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Okay. All right. We are chatting with Christian Ho, the first Singaporean driver who will race in F3. Do join us on Facebook at facebook.com/1FM913. Back with more in a bit.
While you wake up, we're right.
Hello, welcome back. Christian, I want to ask you, do you have a favorite race track? You won twice in Portugal. Is there a track that you look forward to racing at the most or the least?
Have I raced at, or I want to race at in the future?
Ones that you've raced before and you enjoy, or maybe ones that you're looking forward
actually
to as well.
really enjoy Spa in Belgium. I
Belgium.
think that's one of my favorite tracks because it's really technical and it's a lot of high speed corners as well. But I'd say
So that's the same the Spa that we've seen on the F1.
yeah,
right?
exactly.
Oh,
That's Spa.
cool, man.
I mean, I've raced
Yeah.
there this year as well.
Oh wow,
Wasn't
Brilliant.
the best race, but I think it's a really unique track because anything can happen there.
Right.
The weather is also really unpredictable, as we've seen over the years as
Wow,
well.
he likes a bit of a challenge. I love that.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
tight corners, you said. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
But I mean, you cannot compete with Monaco. I think Monaco is really, another level. Yeah.
How about the Singapore racetrack? Have you actually raced on that one?
Only ran on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think that is the most challenging?
I'd say it's one of the most challenging. I think it has the most corners on any
Yeah,
racetrack on
and
the
it's
calendar.
tight as well,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. So
You could
I mean-
potentially do really well then.
I actually did a karting race there when I was really young.
Yeah?
Ah,
Did you
Yeah.
win?
No, I think I crashed. No, but I think it's the Singapore racetrack. I think is really unique, and I think the track before the modifications that they made this year was really, really challenging. And I think there were like 26 corners, 27 corners on the
Yeah.
track,
Right.
and you're racing the night as well with one of the most laps on the calendar. I think it's really taxing. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
is it the most obvious question here that your ultimate aim is to be in F1? I mean, is that what they're all aiming for?
I mean, I think everybody's aiming for
Right.
it. It's just who wants it more at this point. Yeah.
And do you have a favorite team? Do you have a favorite driver?
I'd say my favorite team is Ferrari. I always support
Okay.
Ferrari. I think
Is that because you grew up with your dad watching it? And
No, I think I always support.
You
the-
always like them.
I love
Okay.
red, so I always support
Wow,
red.
of course.
Even
Very
even
better red
Liverpool.
as well.
Yeah,
True
exactly.
Singaporean.
Liverpool.
Yeah, also.
Oh,
Whoa,
dude,
whoa, whoa.
we were getting on so well, but it's okay.
You like United, yeah?
No, they're red as well.
You're lucky he's
true.
not on this side
I'm a
controlling the
Spurs
buttons.
fan.
He
I'm a
might just
Spurs
turn
fan.
you off.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. We don't have to
Spurs.
talk about it. Yeah. Anyway, we move on. We don't talk about
That's
me.
a lack of love for Spurs here. Oops,
Yeah.
sorry.
Even from me at the moment.
Oh.
Anyway, and your favorite driver?
I'd say my favorite driver right now is probably Leclerc.
Okay,
But
right now. So
yeah, of
who
all time,
else?
I'd say Schumacher. I mean, partly because he raced for Ferrari.
Whoa,
but,
we were speculating on this earlier, and actually Schumacher came into the conversation. We're like, nah, he's too young. You won't be supporting Schumacher.
I mean,
Is that because you're your dad?
no.
No.
I think it's just that I respect him so much because he's won so much, and
Yeah.
I think at some point when you win so much and you still have the motivation to go on and win even more, I think that's what
The
inspired
drive
me. Yeah.
that
yeah,
you had,
exactly.
right? No
Wow.
pun intended.
Yeah.
It was
exactly.
incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Hamilton's done the same as well, and next
Yeah.
year he's racing for Ferrari. So
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. You're gonna
Yeah.
like that, huh?
yeah, exactly. I mean, I think the past few years he's been a bit of an enemy, but I think next year I'll support him a bit more.
The
yeah.
enemy.
Yeah.
Are you going to be checking out the F1 races this weekend?
This week, yeah, for sure. I'll be on the track. I think Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, Friday and Saturday. Yeah.
And do you get like special VIP treatment and entry and all that?
I think so, a little bit. Yeah.
Oh, he's playing it
Hopefully,
down. Of course he
hopefully.
is. Of course he
Wow.
is. So who do you think is going to win it this year then?
this year in the championship.
Well,
Or the
here
Grand
in
Prix.
Singapore,
The
first
night
of all,
race, yeah.
I think Leclerc.
Leclerc, and
Yeah,
you think
it's
it's
a
going
really
to
good
come down
chance.
to the wire?
The championship.
It's starting to get really interesting, isn't it, this season?
Yeah, I guess. But
Or you think Verstappen still got it?
I think Max got it. Yeah.
Okay,
I
it's
mean,
Max, you see. Maxi, my
yeah.
mate, my buddy.
I think Max is the best on the grid right now. Yeah.
Ooh.
Have you met Max before?
Kind of. Yeah. But
Oh!
I say, yeah, kind of. Not impressed. Is it?
I
He's
mean-
an interesting character. He's an interesting
but
character.
he's really fast though. So yeah, a lot of respect.
What is the secret, you think, to the champion mindset?
I think it's how you start when you're young. I mean, I think he was trained by his dad ever since he was like 4 years old, and I mean, I think it's the environment that you grew up in, and also the influence that you have. So, I mean, I think I was at a really low point after the World Championship when I finished 4th because I had a really good chance to win. And I read a lot of books about Kobe Bryant and how he came back with all the setbacks that he had, and I think that really inspired me to work hard and to always try to go for the win. Yeah.
How does it feel now that, a lot of eyes on you, Singapore, that you've really got on the map here? And I'm sure, we're so glad that you've got us for an interview, one of the first interviews you've done since you've come back. But everyone's going to be kind of watching things a lot now, right? How's that feel?
I mean, I think it feels good because I get so much more, I think, representation, compared to before. And I feel a bit satisfied because at least the work that I've put in has paid off a little bit. And I still know there's still a lot of things to do that I have to do. I have to win next year, obviously, and my target hasn't changed, and I don't think it will ever change. So, yeah, I mean, more people are watching, but target's still the same.
All right.
Well, we are very, very proud of you. You're a precocious young man, and we wish you all the very best, okay?
Yeah. We're just jumping back live on air to wrap this up as well, Christian, with some last thoughts and maybe share some of your aspirations for the future, okay? Hey, this is a great racing song. Let's go. Wang Chung here on 1FM 91.3. Good times, greatest hits. Good morning to you and welcome to the Brightside. We're currently live on Facebook and in the studio chatting with young Christian host, 17-year-old first Singaporean driver who's going to be racing in the F3. You're back for the week. Couple of weeks, you're taking a break from your studies over in Cambridge. That's your full-time thing.
Yep.
But you're also doing really well in the Euro Cup 3 standings. You got 2 more races to go, and all this very exciting. We were just talking about how you got your start, your favorite racetracks, and we're talking about your thoughts on the F1 circuit. Is that something you would want to race on?
I mean, of course, I think it's every Singaporean racing driver's dream to race on this track. I've seen this track. I've watched the races ever since I was young here. And I think the races started when I was born. So
I was just going to
a lot of
say,
races,
2008 was the first.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I mean, it's been quite a while. I think the track has changed a lot, but I still think it's one of the toughest tracks in the calendar. Yeah.
No matter where you are in the world, you know, if you're watching our home race, you kind of feel the swell of pride, right? When you see it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I basically see Singapore, the entirety of Singapore on the track on TV. So I mean, it's really. I mean, most of the races this year or the past few years have been during a race weekend for me. And so every time I had time, I'll always watch a little bit of the race and then go back for like a heat or another race,
right,
and then come back and watch it again. So I mean, I think this is the first year that I've been able to watch it like properly.
You know what? I think Singapore fans are with all that you're achieving, they can't wait, I'm sure, to have one of their own on the track here one day racing. I mean, that has got to be the ultimate, right? Having a Singaporean driver here in the Singapore Grand Prix.
I know, it's kind of odd that we are watching it and we don't have a Singaporean rep, So hopefully, Christian, you will be the one that brings us all this joy and pride in the next couple of years. How fast can you progress from F3 to F1 actually in a matter of like a year or 2 years?
I'd probably say if I win next year, I'll be in F2 the year after. And if I win in F2, I'll be hopefully in F1 the year after.
Wow.
So at best, I'd say it's 2 years, but realistically, I'd say it's 3 years, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, big difference.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but I mean, is that the pathway you've charted for yourself? Yeah, 2 to 3 years.
Yep, exactly. I think it's the goal for me because I believe it's possible. I believe in myself. And
Great.
Of course, I would like to get there as fast as possible, but I also have to be a bit realistic in the fact that the competition is really high in F3 and F2.
I mean, in Baku, all the winners there were F2 drivers as well, right? They came through that system. So, I mean, that's the pathway that you've got to take.
Yeah, I mean, I've raced all these guys in karting as well, so
Tell us about that. I mean, a lot of these guys you'll have known from racing them.
Yeah, exactly. Like I think next year Kimi is in Formula 1 of Mercedes. I raced with him before as well.
Cool.
I think a lot of the drivers I'll recognize next year. And so I mean, it's kind of nostalgic, I guess, in the fact that we used to race in karting and now we're racing in F3 where it's a much bigger stage. Yeah.
So it feels like the goal is within grasp, right? Within reach.
Yeah.
You know, you've been rubbing shoulders and elbows with these guys, and now it's like, oh, I'm almost there. Tell us, which F1 driver would you want to meet or be like the most?
Right now, I'd probably say either Hamilton or Max, because I mean, Max is winning, and I believe he's the best on the grid right now. And Hamilton, just because of the drive that he's had, I mean, I think he's won 103 races, something like that. And to do it consistently every year, I think that's the...
And he loves Singapore as well. He does so well here, doesn't he, right?
I think he got a really good lap in 2018, if I remember,
Right.
Yeah.
They actually talk about the food they're going to eat after their races. They get excited about eating some local dishes. All right, well, Christian Ho, thank you so much for joining us this morning here on The Brightside. We wish you all the best. We hope your future is bright as in the lead up to the F1. We cannot wait to see where you will go, where you will take our country as well. Hopefully back to the F1 night race street circuit.
When you become an F1 driver, remember where you kind of did your first interview when you came back to Singapore. Remember us, yeah? We'll get the tickets off you. All right. Thanks,
all
buddy.
the very best, Christian.
Thank you.
Wait, who do you think is going to win this year?
Max.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, now we know what to do.
1FM.
Good times. Greatest hits. 1FM 91.3.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining us here on Facebook Live on 1FM 91.3. Been such a joy chatting with Christian Ho. How can people support you, Christian? How can you follow you and find out how you're doing in your races?
You can follow me on Instagram at ChristianHo51 and as well as Facebook and TikTok. I think we're planning to set up a little bit, but yeah, mainly Instagram, yeah.
Okay. All right. You know what to do now. Hop to it. Go show some love for Christian Ho. Thanks, Christian.